Hello and welcome back to West Ham Network and another edition of Old School Hammers in association with Old School FC. Hello, Kieran, my usual sidekick. How are you, buddy?
G'day, mate. It's very good, very good. The weather's been exceptionally hot this week, mate. Hit 36 degrees yesterday. I'll give you the weather report. Get it out of the way.
Yeah, get it
And
out
we're
of the way
looking at
early.
35 today. So, God, it's been hot, yeah. Really hot.
35, blimey.
I'm sure that's not your problem or issue either.
Well, no, but I am jealous. You know, I am jealous. Mr. Bong's in the house. Good evening, James. How are you,
JD.
sir? And our moderator, Hammerette. Evening, Hammers. The Fulham result is what we need for the weekend. Yeah, we've got them at the weekend, haven't we? So that's going to be quite a.
I missed a few results this morning, Fudge.
They've won 5-0 today.
What?
They've won 5-0. Yeah, they beat. Who was it they played? Hang on, let me have a look. Oh, this is going to be quite exciting. Yeah, they've won 5-0, and I'm pretty sure. Yes, I am right. It's Nottingham Forest. So title contenders, obviously.
Wow.
I know.
It's weird because Fulham, up until the last 3 weeks, could not buy a goal, right? They're struggling. Yeah. They've scored three. The last two games have scored 3 goals, and now 5.
Yeah, that ain't the best result of the evening, though, Kieran.
I only see the Man City. I did see that, guys. I just got out of bed and I watched the second half of that game, and Villa. Wow, they look good.
To me, that is the result of the night. You kind of expected United to come out hard at Chelsea, which they did 2-1. Villa obviously beating City 1-0. Fantastic result for them. Sheffield United losing at home 2-0 to Liverpool. As I said earlier, 5-0 Fulham at home to Forest. Bournemouth taking all 3 points at Palace 2-0.
Wow,
that's a great result for Bournemouth.
Well, that shows you sort of where Palace are. They're crap. Yeah, we couldn't do it.
I want to talk a little bit about one of the Bournemouth players in a little while, but first of all, Brighton beat Brentford 2-1 at the Amex as well. So that's tonight's results for you all, ladies and jelly spoons. And also, as the comment on the screen points out, please be respectful this evening. There have been a few negative Nellies in chats recently.
Is there?
Yeah, 1 or 2, So, yes, our moderators will act on that. So they will catch it.
Yeah. They'll hunt you down.
They'll hunt you down and take you. Even Hammers, sorry, that was the one we heard earlier. Lawrence is in house. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Budgie and Fuckface. You always call me that.
Where's the respect there? From the moderator. Where's that? I love it. Yeah, you don't have to be respectful to me, by the way. Just be respectful to each other in the chat. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, we can take it. We're big boys. We can take it.
So you like.
Yeah, everybody's talking amongst themselves. Can't believe City lost. Yes, indeed. Evening, Mr. Watson. Thank you for joining us. Crazy City match. Always sort their shit out just before playing us. Yeah, that's true. They kind of do. Brendan, good evening to you, sir. Cherries turn Palace over. Yep. Attacking footy, if only.
Brendan, I know. What is that attacking attractive football? I don't know what that is.
No, we haven't seen that since the great Gianfranco Zola, I'm afraid, at West Ham. All that didn't get us anywhere. I mean,
I don't care. I still enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, exactly that. It's probably the most enjoyable football I've watched in years. Even though not the best team, I think the current team that we have. Right, let's talk about the current team.
Yeah.
And let's get the Tottenham game tomorrow night out of the way, because everybody's going to want to chat about that. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up. Look, Brighton played an 18-year-old teenager. He scored, if only for West Ham. Yeah.
There you go.
The chef is in the house. Good evening, Scott. Thank you for joining us, mate.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, so we've got Tottenham tomorrow night at the White Hart Lane or Tottenham Stadium.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, the White North London Stadium.
The White Hart Lane Annex, isn't it?
Yeah, the White Hart Wing. Quite a formidable stadium to go to, but we can go there with some confidence. A lesser team of players went there and got the first ever win by any club at that stadium, other than Tottenham. We were the first to beat them there. So we can go there with a little bit of confidence in that, I suppose.
If you think history is a part of it, we do seem to turn up when we play against them there. We have done in the past.
Yeah.
And we all remember, Antonio done it that day, didn't they? We were the first team to beat them at their new ground. And then Lanzini scored that banger to get that 3-3 draw, which was a great moment, wasn't it? So we have had our moments there, and but now we're taking on a different animal with Big Ange, who, as you know, I'm a big fan of, and it's a different kettle of fish. But it could possibly, the way they come at you and play a high line and attack you from all angles, it could, if we're really on our counter-attacking game, it could benefit us. But we've got to be on it. These players that have not been so below par at times have to be on it, man. And he has to come up with putting a team out there that can do the job.
Yeah.
See, I can understand why he keeps Souček and Ward-Prowse together in there, but in this game, for me, you don't. One of them gets on the bench. I'd say Souček put him on the bench for this game. If you want, every game's different. I think this is a game for us to be fast and more attacking. And I'd have Cornet in there on the left.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think this is the perfect game for Cornet.
I think it is.
Cornet out on the left, Bowen on the right, Paqueta in the middle, with I think Kudos in front of him. That's my personal.
You have no confidence that Moyes would pick that, but
none whatsoever. Absolutely none. He probably wouldn't even consider it. He'd dismiss it outright. But for me, that would be the starting lineup to use. It would confuse the fuck out of Tottenham. Listen, I watched a show that Nicky Hawkins from West Ham Fan TV. He did with the two twin lads. We are Tottenham TV.
Yeah.
The two twins, Ben and Sim, I believe their names are. Actually, it's a really good channel if you're a Tottenham fan, which a couple of my pals are, and I've had to watch one or two of their streams. And to be fair, they are actually fair guys when it comes to Tottenham. And they were talking with Nicky earlier, and I've got to be honest with you, they were saying, with the players that we've got, Tottenham should be coming to us, or we should be coming to you, to Tottenham, and Tottenham should be absolutely pooing themselves because of the players that we've got. But under the current management and the tactics that are used, Tottenham will be able to play us off the park. That's their view. And I feel that was a very, very fair assessment by them.
And that's with them missing probably 6 first-team starters.
Yeah, and they only really listed 3 that they were concerned about. And, they've had players that have had like a rebirth. I mean, look at that Lo Celso. He's come back into the fold and he's absolutely storming it for them. So Ange has done an absolutely wonderful job there so far. Much to my disappointment, but he's done a fantastic job.
No, the game against they played against City, mate. They could have been blown away in the first half. The way they were playing, man, it was an amazing, entertaining game.
Yeah, it was a naive approach.
They weren't And their second half performance, when he switched it a bit, brought Højbjerg on, and my God, they deserved to get that point at City. They still went at him with all them players missing, with all the firepower they had. And he saw a chance to get at them, and he did. And he will not change Postecoglou. And this is one thing you know. Moyes don't have to guess anything here, tactics or anything. There is only one tactic with Postecoglou. I am going to try and win every game the hardest, easiest way I can, and the most attacking way I can. And that's what he does. And we've got to know that. And I know because of that, Moyes will sit in a low block and he'll wait and try and hit him on break.
See, now that's where this comment comes into play. Not sure that Cornet is match fit enough for 90, so I reckon he'll bring him on and Souček together in the second half. Now, that's fine. That's probably exactly what he will do. And I agree with you, Happy. He's not fit for the 90. But my point is, why chase a losing position, potentially, and not defend, potentially, a winning position? Now, with Cornet on the pitch from the start for the first 45, 50, 60 minutes, could be a way of getting us on the front foot, because he's quick, he can take people on, he's got a great left foot, he's got a decent right foot, he's got a decent header on him, and he likes to get in the box. What more do you want from a left-sided player? David Moyes has overlooked Cornet far too many times.
Look, the trouble isn't Cornet. None of us know whether he can produce the form that he did at Burnley, because we've not seen him, right? But to get a really good assist in the European game, and then to be left on the bench against Palace when we needed to win it, tells me that Moyes doesn't give a shit about him or doesn't want to play him. It's fucking criminal.
It's almost
I can't tell you that he's the answer, because we know he's the answer. We don't. Yeah, we just haven't seen enough.
It's almost like he's saying, I didn't sanction us buying you, so I'm not going to necessarily
I don't know, boy, but we'll never know, because at the moment, I'd imagine his headspace is fucked, because Moyes didn't even trust to bring him on against Palace when we were chasing a goal. So whether he can come up with him tonight, I don't know. But I don't have a lot of confidence in it. Yeah, and this is the trouble with the two managers, right? Ange Postecoglou is a manager that looks at how we can score, and Moyes just looks at how can we stop them scoring. That's a fundamental difference to me, and I know which one I prefer. How do you score against this team? That's all Ange thinks about. How do we break them down? How do we get at them? And Moyes is the exact opposite, and it leads to very dull football.
It does. And also predictable football from West Ham United, to be fair. I think some other fans think Antonio is still playing beast mode. Seems those days are gone. Yeah, and that was in reply to this from Happy, where she says, a Spud fan on here earlier today, said, thank God for Antonio being out.
Yeah, I think this game would be made
a lot of fans still have that fear of Antonio.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They don't watch him week in and week out.
No, they don't watch him week in. That's right, Butch. They don't.
What they're expecting is Antonio beast mode number 9. That's what they're expecting. What they're actually getting is Antonio off his game in like an 8
at the moment. But this game, like I said, he does get up for Tottenham games, doesn't he? This could have been made for him.
But he's too deep. He's not forcing. He's not forcing the defenders back like he used to. You know, his game really has changed, and I think that's because he hasn't got the pace anymore. I think some other fans think. Oh no, sorry, that was the one I just put up. You know what gets me? Whenever we've won in the last 8 matches, we even moved up the table. Be lucky if we somehow beat them tomorrow and get 8th. Yeah, at the moment, Happy, until after the Christmas rush, as it were, I wouldn't be too concerned about where we are now. It's more about picking up as many points as we can between now and the 3rd or 4th of January, whenever it is, when we get a 6-day break or something. So it's all about what is it? 8 games in 34 days, was it? Ridiculous number of a lot. Yeah. Thank you, Billy Bob. He has gently caressed the button. Thank you, everybody else. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to click the like button if you like what you're seeing. Yeah. So Tottenham tomorrow. Who are you looking at be the main cause of concern other than Son? Because it's always going to be him, isn't it?
Who? Depends what team they're putting on the pitch, I suppose.
Mm.
But I think watching them lately, I mean, Kulusevski's playing well for them.
That's
playing
exactly
out on
what
the
I was
right.
thinking of. That's who I thought you would pick out. You know that?
Mm. He's playing really well for them.
Yeah.
And the Celso's playing good for him. Brennan Johnson is sort of getting there. He's still a work in progress, I think. Yeah, they got Romero back, who's a big boost for him.
Yeah, he's a worry. He is a worry.
And obviously Son. Now, Son's taken on the mantle since they lost Kane, and he's done well. He's done well at it.
I think he's been exceptional as club captain. He's led by example. He's definitely led by example. You know,
I mean we're lucky enough. I mean, Maddison was the one that really was flying until he got injured. Absolutely. Yeah. He walked into that team and he was running everything.
Oh God,
he was. They had the Van der Ven, the centre half they've got he looks really good, man.
Yeah,
and
their keeper's
good. Great. I don't know where they got that keeper from. My God, he's good. So they've got good players. I say they're missing important players.
Dutch or the Belgian league, I think. That keeper.
He's good, man.
Sure. Yeah, he ain't bad. He he's doing exactly what I thought. Like Areola did when he first came into the team for us. You know, he was showing the reason he was brought in.
Yeah, they had Lloris there for so long, and he was a good keeper, but he was starting to make a lot of mistakes near the end there, Lloris. And I think this, to bring in a replacement and get it right straight away, fantastic.
Yeah.
So
a lot of the Tottenham fan base was sort of turning on Lloris as well because of the mistakes and stuff.
Yeah, it was time for a change.
Yeah, it was, and especially for him because he's still a great goalkeeper. But
absolutely,
I think his time at Tottenham was at an end. You can't always stay at a club. There's always reasons why you should leave and stuff like that. And I think it was his time. It was time to go. But anyway,
any team that wants to kick on have to have a good goalkeeper. It goes hand in hand with good teams. Yeah. You look at Villa at the moment with Martinez. He's a big part of that. Yeah. And Pope's been
Arsenal's
a big part of that.
David Raya. I think
Arsenal got a problem. They had Ramsdale, then they bring in this Raya. Raya, to me, cost them a couple of goals the other night. And I think they put Ramsdale on the bench, and I'm not sure that was a good move. Man United, got rid of De Gea, dropped him for this Anana, and they're struggling because he's made lots of mistakes. And I say Tottenham seem to have got it right. So it's important.
Yeah. So how are you seeing tomorrow's game going then?
I don't know. The last few games, I just have no confidence anymore because of the team he's going to pick. And it's already, my confidence will either go down or up seeing that team sheet tomorrow. And it's very hard to pick West Ham to win it. But if you really looked at it sensibly and went, well, hang on, they're missing 6 of their first team players. Why can't we go there and take them on? But we won't. And I've got no confidence in Moyes doing it. So it's really hard. Really. I think we'll lose, but we could turn up. It's very hard to see.
We generally do at them games, but I don't know. See, look, Kevin Locke, he's saying he's backing us to get a clean sheet. 0-0.
That's worth 50 to 1, Kevin. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's worth a couple of quid, Kevin. I've got to be honest. But yeah, and then the next comment, Happy says, I can see a few goals. To be honest, I can too. and I can see them all being fucking scored by Tottenham. I'm really expecting, and I wouldn't normally say this, but I'm expecting us to get an absolute arse whipping tomorrow. I can see 3 or 4 goal win by them. Like
if we've got a 10-man defence, we might make it hard for them, and that's unfortunately that's sad, but that's probably what it's going to be.
Yeah. Mark says he thinks we can grab a win, and that's only because we've got Kudus. If he plays him, which generally now you would probably think that he's probably one of the first team players on the team sheet. So yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, Kudus. Let's not rely on Kudus like we used to rely so much on the likes of Dimitri Payet or Paolo Di Canio pulling something special out. We need all the players to be on their game tomorrow. Yeah, mate. We need every player on that pitch to be on their game tomorrow. And if I'm honest with you, any players that aren't shouldn't be wearing the bloody shirt, because this is the game they need to be getting up for, really, to be fair. Saying we will get a clean sheet is like saying I will not have a pint during the match. It is not happening. Yeah. We can keep the Spuds quiet, probably in the stands, but not so much on the pitch, I don't think. I think they're going to be a little bit too much for us. Mabama and Ings together up front in pre-seasons and both scored. Although Mabama played last night, he's got young legs with many miles in them, so let's use them. Can't see it though. No, Mabama's not even going to be on the bench for tomorrow night. I'll guarantee it. He played last night. David Moyes won't risk giving him an injury and then getting criticised for that. Trust me, David Moyes is a lot cleverer than that. 2-1 to the Hammers, says Lawrence. And Mark also, I'm worried, but I expect Spurs to get Spursy and implode. Hopefully, Pegad. We can only live and hope. Lawrence, yeah. The players all have to be on their A game, and Moyes needs to let the shackles off. Exactly.
Sorry about that, mate. I had to talk to the boy.
That's all right, mate. No worries. Happy says, in her heart, 2-3 to us. Hopeful head, 2-2. Realistic, 3-1 to Tottenham. Please prove me wrong, West Ham. Yeah, I can understand all of that. We seem to play better in evening matches, certainly better than 2 p.m. on a Sunday. Yeah, that's fucking true and all. Mark, that's all because us fans ain't making atmosphere. Oh, GP, look at you. Bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Hammers Chat. Best fan channel. What? Hammers Chat, best fan. This isn't Hammers Chat, mate. This is West Ham Network. I think you.
Yeah, well, maybe he's taking a piss.
You spent £2 on the wrong people, brother. Oh, that's great. I like that. But thanks for the £2, mate. That is brilliant. It's all our fault, says Mark. Right, okay, right. So let's move on to the next part of the show then. We've had a little chat about the Tottenham game, and to be honest, I hate talking about them. So let's talk about gone too far with that, sorry guys. Let's talk about the players that we bought in the summer. So summer signings, and here's a little reminder of some of the summer signings. There you go. Reminder of summer signings. Okay, you spot the deliberate mistake in there. That was a Green Street Elites branded video, and that's because I was told I was allowed to use it. So there you go. And if you haven't already checked out Green Street Elites, come over and have a look. It's mainly about you, the fans. Give us a look, give us a subscribe and stuff like that. Right, okay. So let's talk about, first of all, the man at the back. Dino Mavropanos. What are you saying, Kieran? You liking what you see?
Yeah, I haven't seen enough. I thought he was he had a good game against Sorry, mate, I'm getting a phone call in here. It's doing me in. You still hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen enough of him. I thought he was good the other day against Palace until he cost us 2 points. Unbelievable mistake. Terrible mistake. But, defenders make mistakes. It's just every time our centre-half seem to make a mistake, it leads to a goal. Yeah. And it's happened too often. But that was a really bad mistake. But I thought overall he had a good game. He looked okay. He looked okay in Europe, which weren't hard because they really didn't pose much of a threat. So, yeah, it's hard to know. I think it's early days. But I think he might be a better fit with Aguerd than Zuma. So I need to see more.
At least he's got a little bit of turn of pace, hasn't he? You know what I mean? He can, and he's got a lot more mobility. A lot more mobility. I mean, we can all see Kurt Zuma's struggling on his knees. So let's not gloss over that.
No, see, in this type of game against Tottenham, if we're going to be camped, it could suit Zuma, because he will. He'll get to every header, he'll block out everything he can. It might suit Zuma better. But like I said, I don't think Zuma and Aguerd have been particularly good this season as a pairing.
No, but then, no, not as a pairing, but individually.
Yeah, they're good players.
Aguerd has been playing some of the best football I've seen from him in this season in the last few weeks. I mean, okay, defensively, yes, he has made a couple of mistakes, but I mean, his crossfield balls, his left-footed ball over to, who was it, Kudos, when he got that assist against Burnley. Oh my God. I mean, what a pass. I mean, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah, he can knock a long ball.
Oh, mate, yeah. And I can't see any reason why we couldn't play him as a left, and put Emerson further forward. If you wanted to just use the men that we've got now, the people we got now, I would love to see Emerson pushed forward because I think
to do that, you'd need to go free at the back, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. I would have Kera, out on the right-hand side of the three. I would have Mavropanos in the middle, and I would have Aguerd on the left, and I would put Emerson out on the extreme left. I'd put Soufal out on the extreme right. The less defending Soufal has to do, the better. The less Emerson has to do, the better he'll be. Because
you're talking about an attacking side there, Budge, and we're not going to be that. That's the problem. We're not. Moyes has killed that. In me, I just don't even think. He's so focused on stopping goals than trying to create them. And unless that changes, you're never going to see that sort of adventure.
All right. Okay. Well, moving on from Mavropanos then. How about who else was there? JWP. Oh no, let's go back to Mavropanos for a minute. 15 million we paid for him. That could have been euros.
I'd say that's euros. A good punt.
But even at 15 million quid, I think he's actually showing me that he's value for money. And I don't think that the money that we've spent on him has been wasted.
Not for 15 million, mate. You don't get much these days for 15 million.
And I think, with a little bit more development in the Premier League, and by Premier League coaches, I think that's a 45 million pound player in 2 years.
It could be. I'll say we need to see more of him, don't we? And that's the thing. But he looks fairly solid until. But mistakes like that, what he did, that cost us 2 points. Can't be doing. You know what I mean? That's why he's 15 million. Done it. Every centre half will do it. Every centre, but he's just starting out.
Normally, if a centre half fucks up, it leads to a goal. Generally, doesn't matter what club they play for.
Well, we'll see if he does start tomorrow. We'll see against an attacking side whether he's up for it or not in the Premier League. He's going to have plenty of work to do.
I agree. Moving on then, JWP. 35 million, 38 million, 35, 38. I think it was 35. So we know the potential he's got. We've seen what he can do when he's in red and white stripy shirt down at Southampton. Now, he was club captain down there. He had a lot of responsibility and took a responsibility on really well. And I think he was a very mature young man when he was a young man already. And then when he was given the captaincy, I think he got better and better for Southampton. Having said that, they're not the best team in the world, so he's going to be an outstanding player in a team like that. He's now come to West Ham. The question is, has he been found out? Is he not as good as it, or is he playing a different style of football now? Even which I believe he is. I think he's being played out of position, and I think he's playing a different style of football to what he's used to. Although he's still in centre midfield somewhere, he's generally kind of zonal at the moment, whereas before he had more of a free run. What do you think, Kieran?
Yeah, well, he's the first half a dozen games. I thought he's superb, absolutely superb. And he was seen to be playing further up front, where Alvarez was just sitting at the CDM, and that's what I want him to do. I've always wanted that. I want somebody to sit and just don't worry about going up, supporting the midfielder, going past the halfway line. I don't know what's happened lately. It seems to be this pivoty shit we're trying to do. Ward-Prowse sits, he goes, or he sits, he goes. No, just leave Alvarez there, leave Ward-Prowse. He was doing his best work when he was a bit further up the pitch, let's put it that way. And now he's getting caught there, especially when you put Souček alongside them, both slow. And it's not really been working for them. I think when you just leave Ward-Prowse a little bit further up, let Alvarez sit, let Souček do the donkey work as well. And you'll get more out of him. But that's it. If you've got an attacking mindset, to me, that's what you'd be doing. Because you've got Paqueta there as well. And, between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very forward thinking in the first few games. Yeah, he got assists. He's putting balls straight away. He was always looking to go forward. But now I think he looks a little bit lost in games and not really being effective.
So, worth 38 million or 35 million? Let's call it 35.
I think, look, you were never going to get him any cheaper, I don't think. I think any more would have been too much. But I think he's probably worth about the money that it is these days. Unfortunately, it's a lot of money still, but I think if he's played right, we'll get a lot more out of him.
Yeah, if he's played right, the potential of actually being worth the 50 that Southampton had originally asked for.
It could be, but at the moment, like I said, we're not getting up forward as well to see any of his free kicks. Well, he's only had 2 or 3 since he's been here. So we're not getting the benefit of that. But his corners, they are on point. He puts a cracking delivery into the middle of the box. But you've got to get someone on the end of them. But I think he's a good forward.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Happy said, 9 assists to date. Don't play him too deep. Let him further up the pitch. Again, why doesn't Moyes see the stark difference in performance? Put 2 and 2 together. Basically, just mirroring what you just said exactly about him. Sorry. That was the one you said, wow, Reece Devaney.
It's very rare. I see someone with my name. Very rare.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, interesting.
Tell him to stop fucking ringing you.
He could be an old a nephew of mine or something, or great nephew. Forgot to exist.
Right. We really want to win West Ham United FC prizes. Yeah, we all want to win them, mate. Mav's shame the mistake was lethal, but we ain't seen the best of him yet. Want him to play tomorrow for sure. Now, that's the thing. The run of games. If he gets a run of games, obviously he's going to sharpen every tool in his armoury, isn't he? You know what I mean? So, I think you're right. I think that's what it is. I think it needs a run of games. Big, massive fan of West Ham United. Please, could you send me a signed West Ham United FC jersey, please? Reece, it doesn't quite work that way. We're fans ourselves. We're not actually a part of the club per se. We're just devoted, passionate fans, and we stream live to YouTube to air our views. We're not
Yeah,
officially part
I'll
of the group.
give David
And
Moyes a ring, mate. He likes to look after the fans.
yeah. But to be fair, it would cost me as much money to get one of those tops as it would for you. In fairness, in the green room we have a distinguished guest. Did you want to appear on the screen?
I just,
Good, yeah,
do you know what?
buying a death there, Anton, talking about West Ham there. So glad you're coming.
I'm only going to stay on for 10 minutes. I was doing something on the computer and I thought, you know, I was listening to you in the background and I thought I'll jump on for 10 minutes and see what's happening.
Yeah, great.
So, you're right,
yeah, so actually we're kind of in the middle of the conversation about the value of the players that came in the summer. We've mentioned Mavropanos and JWP at the moment, and we both agree, Kieran and I both agree that at 15 million quid, Mavropanos was a bargain, and potentially he could be a 35 million pound player in a couple of years with the right coaching and you know a run of games, etc.
Yeah.
And with JWP, we think that like the 38 million that he's cost us, we think that's about right for the play that we've seen from him so far. He came out of the blocks absolutely storming, but he's trailed off a bit because he's been positioned slightly further back.
Yeah.
What are your views so far?
Yeah, with JWP, I totally agree with you 100%. I think there's a quality player there. I think sometimes our putting three defensive midfielders in the middle is partly to do with the reason we play the way we do. You know, lots of teams don't do that. They just go hell for leather. West Ham are so used to being protective, and we've had to do that within reason. We've got Tommy Suchek, Alvarez, and JWP. Really, in theory, three defensive-minded players. Albeit JWP plays forward with his balls and his contributions of goals. He still is playing in a deeper lying role. So, I would like to see that change, but that's another conversation. JWP, yeah, I think bang for his buck, 100%. Now, Mavropanos is an interesting one because do I think there's a decent central defender in there? Yeah, I do. Do I think he's full of a calamity? Yeah, I do. In actual fact, Mavropanos reminds me extremely similar of when Ogbonna first came to West Ham. Now, all jokes aside, back when we did Irons United, me and Stell used to always have disagreements about Winston Reid and Ogbonna and say who was the better defender. And for me, it was like, well, the last season at Upton Park, the one thing I clearly seen with my own eyes, as did everyone else, was the leadership that Winston Reid has got and how he was constantly frustrated at Ogbonna. Because Ogbonna was always sitting either too deep or sitting too far up, and Winston Reid would always have to cover his back, and there was a calamity in him. Now, as people say with wine, you know, the older it gets, the better it gets, and that's kind of what Ogbonna has done for West Ham over the last few years, apart from, well, maybe not last year or so, but over time has got better and better at West Ham. I'm a little bit concerned about Mavropanos. I'll be honest with you. We know he was described as a box-to-box defender, which is something you never hear of. He loves to get forward, and he has definitely got a calamity in him. But then equally, though, when I've said that, people have replied to me going, well, have you not watched Agerd this season? And I'm like, well, I think the reason why Agerd and Mavropanos have struggled, in particular Agerd, is because I don't think the low block style of football actually works to Agerd's favour. So sitting so deep does not benefit Agerd.
But, I mean, Anton, also on that point, think about how many times we found Dawson on the edge of the box or in the middle of the opponent's midfield area, waiting for a ball to come back out from you know, any potential, you know, ping ponging around in the penalty box and stuff, you know. So Dawson also was kind of like a box to box defender. He was just never really given that label.
I think he was I think he was. I think what he was for me personally was your no nonsense defender. And you know,
and I think Mavropanos could be very, very similar in that respect.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I do. I think playing in a deep role is the concern. That's my concern I've got with Mavropanos. I'm not comfortable with Mavropanos. Right now, I do prefer Zuma and Agerd, even though that there's been errors there. But it's a kind of, I suppose, what each person fancies, I suppose, at that time. But the one thing it's probably taught me is we absolutely still need a central defender. I don't think Moyes will be happy with the central defenders. I don't think whoever manager comes in will be 100% happy with the central defenders, because either way, we've got Mavropanos and Agerd. Agerd's only just played a full year. Not even, actually. Agerd's still not had one full season under his belt, and he's still over 2 seasons has still not had a full season under his belt. So, because he only came back and played for West Ham after the World Cup last year, so he played his first actual game for West Ham in the Premier League in the
January.
In January, so he's still 11 months into his West Ham.
I remember
career.
It was a Leeds game he came back at, wasn't it?
Yeah, really, it was like that. So for me, I think that's a priority position. Because we don't know what the long-term problem with Zuma, you know, he misses 20 games a season, and all that sort of stuff. But I don't personally think Mavropanos is going to be the main guy either. He could be, but what I'm intrigued about with Mavropanos is if we do get a new manager in the summer and we push forward in the summer, then will he and Agerd and our defence become much better, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, you've also got to remember that we've got a very busy period in front of us right now. And then, you know, we've got the potential, I mean, of losing 2 of our players to the AFCON in Kudos and, what's his face? Ben Rama. There's still a chance he could get called up. So, you know, the AFCON could ruin us as well, you know. I mean, we haven't sort of really spoken about the AFCON, but I mean, I suppose, you know, we've got to really, because it's coming up immediately after the Christmas period. You know, I think there's like 15 days before they start disappearing after that. So
Ben Rama won't be any loss anyway, so it's only kudos.
Say that though. No, I wouldn't say that though.
I would.
I mean,
because if we had any sense, we'd sell him in January and bring in someone who actually could do a job on the left wing. Yeah,
and on that, if there's anything, I could see him going in January, because the Saudi link doesn't leave, and the Saudi clubs have spoken out and said we're coming armoured with a lot of money. So West Ham may see that opportunity to bring some much needed funds in. You know, I'm all over the place with Ben Rama. I get I'm more disappointed than I am happy with him. That's the only thing I can say. And I've never wanted someone to be so good in my life than him. He's a player that if we were linked to him and he played abroad and we never watched him, and you looked at his stats, you'd be like, sign him. Because his stats are very, very good, but he is very frustrating. But I do think he will. I think he might go come January. And I know, Budgie. I know that might put us into a problem if we don't have another player on the mindset. But I think they will have another player. I think they'll have.
I think we've got one already made, sitting, you know, in the changing room week after week.
He's not allowed on the pitch
here and 10 minutes there. You know, we've got one ready made in Maxwell Cornet. You know, we've got a left winger sitting there. You know, and he's putting Paqueta out there, our most useful number 10 we've got in our squad.
But if he had any interest, he had any interest in Cornet, he would have brought him on against Palace, and not to shift players all over the place. Even I think Ward-Prowse ended up there on the left rather than bring on Cornet. None of that makes sense. So, whatever reason, Moyes don't want him in there. I don't think he's got any interest in this player. For whatever reason, whether it weren't his buy or I don't know. But
from what I understand, I believe Cornet was a Moyes signing as well.
Yeah,
I don't believe it was anything. So unless there's an underlying issue with this injury, that's the only other thing I can think of. But I don't know if it is, because what he did was against Bakatapola. Like, I thought he actually played well and looked pretty decent when he came on. In actual fact,
so.
he changed the game.
He's had, he's had 2 goals disallowed. You know, people.
Well, the thing, what's interesting, Budgie, about Corney is, if you look at all of his games he's played for West Ham, so this is when he first signed for us, up until the point he got injured until now, he's probably been one of our most effective players. Albeit he's only played not many games in about a year. Yeah. But he has been really effective. If you go back to last season in the conference, he won as a penalty. He assisted some goals. He should have got the goal against Chelsea that should never have been disallowed. And that, if that goal had been given, he would have kicked on.
I think so. And I think
he must be bad in training. He must be terrible for not to get a look in now.
Yeah, and to be fair, even if he is bad in training, David Moyes isn't Harry Redknapp, is he? Let's be fair. Harry Redknapp would go, but he turns it on the pitch. You know?
Look, if you're good enough to get on the bench, mate, you're good enough to be put on. It's as simple as that. You know, there's no reason. So. To me, it's Moyes' head. I don't know where it is. I'm saying the Palace game really done me. Because
anyway,
what have you got to lose?
Let's move on to another summer signing. We've got 2 more to go. Edson Alvarez. And again, around about 35 million. What are we saying? Do we think he was £35 million player, or, is he value for money? What are our thoughts?
I'm gonna go in the next couple of minutes. So if you don't mind, Kieran, out.
Yeah, you carry on, man.
So I was
talk about Kudos as well, then, yeah.
Yeah, I was. So with Alvarez, I was really excited. Saw him play and thought, I'm all right with that. Then I saw West Ham try and give him the ball and allow him to be the ball carrier, and that concerned me because he started to give the ball away a few times. Yeah. And then fair play to the person who called me out on it about saying, well, in actual fact, he was top of the stats for ball carrying for Ajax the season before. So I started to do my due diligence a little bit and started looking it up and watching some of the old games, and he was. And then I've started really watching him in his game, and in actual fact, I genuinely think he is fucking unbelievable. There's a but, and I don't think it's him. I think it's because he plays alongside. I think what we need to do with an Alvarez is a little bit like what we did with Declan Rice. Now, I'm not comparing them because Declan Rice can carry the ball. Now, Alvarez can carry the ball, but what West Ham need is people to just do the simple jobs to the highest of standards. So we're getting everything out of that player, and I think that's what Alvarez needs to do right now. I think that's what Alvarez needs to be. The problem is if you've got JWP sitting in that deep role, when Alvarez comes and collects that ball, he looks up, and because JWP are sitting far back with him, and then all the defenders are sitting far back with him, the gap is in front of him is dramatic in comparison to what the gap was like when he was playing at Ajax. Yeah, so the gaps are huge. And then Alvarez is looking up and going, where the fuck are the players? And because there's that inconsistency, it's like you're just missing that one player in the hole, innit? And that one player in the hole for me should be Paqueta. And if it's not Paqueta, then fucking put someone right smack bang in that hole there. And let them loose. And I think Alvarez.
If it's not Paqueta, then why not try Ben Rama in that hole? Because I think he'd be quite useful there. I think he's more of a centre-minded player than
I would rather see Ben Rama through the middle than I would out in the wing, to be honest. That's my bit. If I had to do it, I would rather see him through the middle. But it was the same with Felipe Anderson. We had him. He didn't. He was.
Felipe Anderson was a true number 8, wasn't he?
He should have been through the middle. He should have been through the middle. We've done it. We've done it one Christmas, and it was when we got a result at Newcastle. We got a result at Southampton, and it was because he played him through the middle, and that meant that Chicharito was supported. And when Chicharito was supported, Chicharito banged in a couple of goals, but suddenly out the blue, he thought, "Fuck it, I'll put you back out on the left again." And then it was like, "Oh, what? What the fuck? What? We've just got on a run of good games. We just beat Newcastle 3-0 at St James's Park, and then the next game you've put him out left. What?" So
them bloody birds are loud again, Kieran.
Are they?
There's a comment there. Sorry, right at the bottom. It says there. Sorry, I'm going to put it out for you, Budgie. Sorry, Alvarez is suffering from long distance internationals. He is desperate to score. Some of the yellows are annoying. Great signing, and I think there is an element of because we have had so many international breaks. Suddenly when West Ham get a result, you want the momentum to carry. Bang, we're into an international break, and then West Ham have to reset again, and that's really I think that's really affected West Ham this year. And with it, because we are now a team that has 12 internationals. We've got players traveling all over the world, and like you said, guys, like we've got the African Cup of Nations coming up. I mean, what the fuck's that? Taking Kudos out of this team concerns me because he's phenomenal.
I think it was P-Gads, but in general, Alvarez has been one of the better players this season. Was a much better player than Ben Rama for me. That is debatable, but it's that'll be a good debate because I kind of compare them as very similar to each other. To be fair, Alvarez and Emerson have been neck and neck on bookings all season. Nightmare losing both of them again at the same time. Yeah, and another player that I've been very impressed with, Emerson. Mo Kudos.
I'm going to love you and leave you, but before I do, I'm going to say Mo Kudos, exciting, flamboyant, quality, sometimes gives the ball away, but fights back and wins it back, can come up with a magical moment, has given us some really good memories so far. I think he needs to be unleashed. I think that if we can sort out that, I don't think we need the 3 central defensive midfielders anymore. I think that needs to go. I think we just need to make the decision. We're going to go with the 1 or the 2. And then I think at that point, you'll really see the benefit of Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudos. Kudos is a quality player. Excites me. He's becoming one of my favourite players. And I love his energy. That's me. Listen,
do you think that one, Anton? Do you think because he has to shoehorn Souček into the side that it's switching players all over the place to accommodate that, and this is the problem?
It's a really scary thing to think of because the difference between Tommy Souček and say like Ben Rama, if you look at their stats, for example, I'm not dead against Souček as much as what other people are.
No, neither am I.
If that means that you need to pull one of, maybe not Alvarez, but maybe if you pull JWP, as much as that sounds drastic, then so fucking be it. Like, if it means that, because Tommy Souček does offer you a threat going forward, there's no ifs or buts about it. He's consistently doing it. And last year, Paqueta and Rice, we know this for a fact, they were like, Souček was like the first name we looked for because we can go and do our job. Albeit Premier League form wasn't great last year, but they really put it down to the fact that Souček was key to us winning that tournament, at least.
Yeah.
And I've read some stuff saying, like, if you look at the piece of the jigsaw we were missing when we first made that move, everyone always pays credit to Jesse Lingard. It wasn't just Jesse Lingard. The one player we were missing was a Tommy Souček. When Moyes brought Tommy Souček in, it was the box-to-box midfielder, the player that so him and Sufao spearheaded the start of the last 3 seasons. Yeah, so it's a tough one, though, isn't it? It's a tough one. Who would be a football manager? not me, anyway.
I think 62,500 people at the London Stadium probably want the job.
Yeah, and every YouTube channel probably as well.
Yeah, you know that. Well, thanks for joining us, Anton. We won't keep you any longer, mate.
Much love.
Yep.
Love to the family, mate.
Irons.
There you go. So, right. So we got to Alvarez for us too. What are you thinking about Alvarez? And
he's potentially a great player. I think it's a good signing. I just don't know, because of the way Moyes is playing and the way the midfield is, I don't know what's best for him. I really don't. Like I said, Anton's saying there now that he's got great ball carrying stats for Ajax. I didn't know that. When I see him just as a CDM, I think he looks at his best at that. But maybe we're not utilising him properly.
Looks like
And
it was
that's
a job he
because
was
Moyes is
born
trying to, I think, shoehorn everyone into the midfield to accommodate Souček, which is good because he has been one of the most attacking players this year, if you look at the stats.
He's been one of our consistent players, that's for sure.
But we sort of got three bloody defensive midfielders, really. I mean, yeah, I'd rather have a team that's only got one. So,
I would just, if he's going to play Tommy Souček, he's just going to have to say to him, right, the shackles are off, boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I only want to see you defending when it's necessary. Other than that, I want you pushing that. Pushing that.
I'd say for this game against Tottenham, I would, not that I've got anything. I like Souček. It gives us a lot. But for this game,
I got to agree. I don't think he's right for
more tactically than anything else. I'd bring him on late if we needed a goal. That's what I'd do.
Eric says that the last time we played well was when Jesse Lingard was in the team.
In the Premier League, it's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the last time we saw balls out attacking threat from the team in general, rather than just individual players. But then you see, as soon as Jesse Lingard went, Moyes just reverted. So, what can you say? And he brought in players of equal, if not better, ability than Jesse Lingard, and he didn't give them the Jesse Lingard role. Mourinho did say Moyes found his next Fellaini when we got Big Tom in. Well, that's it. That's exactly what we've been saying. He is the next Fellaini. He just hasn't.
He was really good that season too, wasn't he? He was really good.
He was fantastic. Wouldn't mind seeing Benny in the number 10 tomorrow, says Scott. I agree. A lot of people would disagree with us, Scott, and like Kieran said, it probably will never happen. Good evening, Ray.
Like John says, mate, Benrahma is pointless out on the left, right? Could he do a better job at number 10? Yeah, he could. He could show more. He'd do more. But really, forget who you want there. Benrahma is pointless out on that left side. He really kills the attack. He slows it down. He's not quick enough to get around anyone.
He's clumsy as well.
Pointless.
His first ball.
Would he be better in the middle?
First ball at the moment.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think he would. Happy says, I swear that if Ings starts up top tomorrow, I'm going to literally staple my eyelids to the carpet and not watch a second of the match.
Yeah.
Staple eyelids to the carpet. I mean, come on, that's a bit fucking extreme, isn't it, girl? Just don't turn the TV on. Evening, Ray. Yep. Can only see us losing tomorrow. Hope I'm wrong, of course. Eric, let's only hope. But I think it's going to be an absolute fucking drubbing. I think Tottenham are going to. They've got our number, and Angie's very, very clever tactically. So I think we're going to have a bit of a job tomorrow. Benny is trying so hard to impress Moyes. That may be why he's consistently taking pot shots rather than passing to score a screamer and get some love. Could be. That's, Wally Weld's in the house. Good evening, Wally. I hadn't seen you before tonight. Hello. And even Happy's just seeing him for the first time. Better than watching us play with Ings up top, to be honest. No exaggeration whatsoever. Yeah, no, stapling your eyelids to the carpet is very, very extreme, Happy. Don't do
he won't. We're going to be counter-attacking tomorrow, and Ings definitely won't get picked because you're going to need pace to break. So
I think you're going to find Bowen up top.
This will suit him. I mean, to me, Bowen was pointless up front against Palace. Two big, good central defenders, and with his back to the goal, pointless. This is not, because they're going to play a high line, Tottenham, and there's every chance he can get over the top, and he'll be facing the goal, running at it. So I have no doubt he'll start with Bowen up front.
Usual's in house. Good evening for me, and good morning from Kieran. Yes, so you got it right both times.
It is good morning.
Yeah, usual. Anyway, so Mohamed Kudus then.
Yeah, he's exciting, isn't he? We hadn't even seen nowhere near the best of him yet. You know,
No.
he's only had a few starts there, but you can see the player that's in him, man. And he's a fighter, and he's strong. He's got great feet. He's attack-minded. And I love that comment when he first turned up. He said, I came to entertain. Moyes might not think that's what he's going to be, mate.
And you
He's
know
a good player.
Completely different players. I'm not talking about comparing their playing styles whatsoever. The fact that they're both from the same country, effectively, is why I'm saying this. But I like his attitude, and it reminded me of the attitude of John Pansill. John Pansill was of the mind that I'm good at my job, and if you want to take the ball off me, you've got to be better than me. And I think that's a very similar attitude to what Mo Kudus runs with. I think, he knows he's got the ability and the quality and the style. You've got to be a bit better than that to get the ball off me. So either that or you've got to take me out and I'll get a free kick anyway. So, And John Pansill had that kind of attitude as well. I felt, I actually really like John Pansill.
I think we just got to find the right position for him. What's best for Kudus? And see, really, we know Bowen's best position is on the right. If we had a proper striker, and maybe that's Kudus as well. So it's hard to know where he could be effective on the left, where he could be better in the middle. I don't know yet what's his best position, but we'll find out.
I said earlier that I would like to see Cornet on the left, Bowen on the right, Paqueta in the middle with Kudus in front of him in the nine role.
I don't know. I just hope, like Bowen, say we lose a lot of Bowen at that Palace game. It was pointless having him in the middle, and I hope we don't do that to Kudus as well. Bring him in there, and then he's anonymous. I just want we work out what's his best position and play him in it.
Yeah. But he's played as a centre attacking midfielder and a striker at Ajax, and also wherever else it was.
But they are an attacking sort of team. Ajax always have been in the past,
Yeah, agreed. But if you was to put Kudus up front, like we have done with Antonio, right?
I think it'd be better with his back to goal than Bowen.
And expect him to do the job that Antonio did, right? So well. I think Kudus is probably the only player we've got that's capable of playing that role. He'll do it slightly differently. He'll do it his own way, and we'll probably end up with more goals out of him that way. But
maybe
David Moyes isn't going to risk that. He's not going to risk that.
No, I don't think so.
He's going to put Bowen up top, and he's going to put Kudus out on the right. He's going to put Paqueta out on the left, and he's going to put bloody Souček up behind him.
Unfortunately, probably will do, and that's the problem. I say, whatever players we bring in and got, I just don't think Moyes can play a style of football that suits them, especially these attack-minded type players, these flair type players like Paqueta, and and it keeps moving them around. It's like Paqueta is at his best when he's in the middle.
Yeah, I agree.
You throw him out on the left. Even though he doesn't always stay out on the left, but I just think he's not looking the player he is lately. I mean, he's given away too much ball, and I'm not sure he's trying that hard. And he's rolling around too much, so maybe there's a problem. And the problem's Moyes. We all know it's Moyes, but we'll see. But I say this game tomorrow could suit Moyes. A counter-attacking style. Gets everyone behind the ball and then break. And I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's our only
Eric says that Bowen doesn't look 100% fit. I agree. I was at the game the other day, and you're right, he didn't look great on Sunday. But he had 100% effort. 100% effort is always better than nothing. Don't want to be negative, but we won't be keeping Kudus for long. He's far too good for our levels right now. See, now, I agree with that sort of sentiment, if you like, because we always lose the best players that we have. It's probably going to happen with, Paqueta.
Yeah, but I think this is the model that Steinton's probably going to bring in anyway. You know, we
think
have these players for 2-3 years, and then we move them on and earn money out of them. That's, I don't mind, as long as you've got the replacements coming in and keeping them coming in. Because I think the same. Paqueta and Kudos eventually will leave for a bigger thing.
But then you've got to have a manager that can deal with that. That can deal with a clear out of the cupboards every 2 or 3 years. You know, the next guy in that seat, the next guy in that job.
We go and find another Kudos, and we go and find another Pickett. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Don't be scared of losing them.
That's also the Red Bull model, etc., that we've been promising.
And maybe bring it. We absolutely get a couple of youngsters at some stage through and blood them and see if they can make it. You know, it's money for nothing when you get a youngster coming through.
This is the point that I wanted to make. Under the Moyes regime, the youth are getting nothing games, and that's all they're getting. They're getting 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 games, and then they're back out to pasture. And that's not the right approach to have with guys that are fighting it and doing their damnedest to get themselves a chance in the first team. We need someone that's got the experience to know how good an academy player can be, and we need someone that's experienced enough to know that giving them the opportunity makes them better. You know, and it makes the team and the club better. So, you know, let's hope that our next manager is of the Ange Postecoglou mould, if you like, because that guy, honestly, would look at a tea lady and see if she's good enough to play. I know he would. Do you know what I mean? And that's what we need. We need a manager that's going to look further than the end of his nose, really.
Especially this year, like if we all believe what's going to happen, that Moyes will be out the door at the end of the year. He's got no interest in promoting youth. Why would he? That's for the future. And there is no future for him, as far as I'm concerned. And so why would he bother?
Yeah.
You know what?
Earlier on, I said I wanted to speak about one of Bournemouth's players when we spoke about them winning. The player that I want to talk about is Justin Kluivert. Now, yes, it is Patrick Kluivert's son, and he's not where he is because of his dad's name. He's where he is. He's at Bournemouth because he's a very talented young striker, and he's getting game time right now, and he's playing well apparently. See, now, if we were looking at this model of bringing in, promising young players, they're the kind of players that, I mean, I'm not saying him directly, but why not him? These are the kinds of players that we should be looking at. The guys that are with lower ranked teams or lower division teams that have been brought over from wherever, and they're showing some, talent. These are the sort of players we should be looking at. I mean, we could probably get these for 20s and 30 millions, rather than paying 50 million for somebody who wants to dive on the floor, roll around like a child, and then as soon as he don't get what he wants, he gets up and walks away. That frustrates the life out of me. These cheaper and talented players, they want a shot at the title, so they're not going to do that so much. They're going to be more inclined to play the game. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think that's what Steinen's there for. I mean, there's a load of people in Europe, around the world, in Asia and everywhere that you can pick up. You've just got to be able to source them and bring them in. That Bournemouth have already sourced him and brought him in. He's not, to me, I've watched him a few times. He's okay. He's not showing to me that he's going to be anything great. But he's getting game time in the Premier League, so good luck to him. He might get better. Might not. Bournemouth have already sourced him, so I think Steinen's there to bring him in before he's at any other Premier League club. You know?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
Yeah, that's why I
promoting
said, not him particularly, but why not
Yeah.
him? But I said, I mean, I'm
But
talking
players
about
like that,
players
yeah.
like that. I mean, and
That's
let's
the
be
model.
honest, with the fact that his dad is Patrick Kluivert, he's got some history of professional football in his blood. Do you know what I mean? And therefore would understand the professionalism and stuff involved in the game, rather than.
I
typical
don't believe
family
any
stuff.
manager around the club worries about their name. Are they good enough or not for me to do the job on the pitch? That's what they look at.
Yeah.
We know that name is synonymous with great football because his dad was a fantastic player. Whether he
Great
can live
player.
up to that, it'd be very hard, I'd say. But I
Oh,
say,
yeah, no.
He might be at the level he's meant to be.
And the thing
Who
is, the pressure that will be put on him because of his name must be extreme. Like the
It must be hard for him,
expectation.
yeah.
Yeah, the expectation from fans and stuff. But there are players. Like there's a young lad at Montpellier, I think it is. He's a young Welsh lad, Scottish lad, one or the other. He's either Welsh or Scottish. And he's playing Montpellier. He's about 19. He's getting first team football. He's a defensive midfielder, and he's doing all right. He's getting game time in Ligue 1. Is that Ligue 1? Yeah, I think it is. So these are the sort of players. A young English lad playing over in France. They're the sort of lads that you want to be bringing back. Instead of
we'll probably sign Jude Benham next year. We'll be right, mate. Bring him back to England.
Yeah, do you reckon he'd be on the plane with what's his face? Oh God, I've forgotten his name now.
Steidten. We'll photo with him.
Yeah,
that'll get me excited.
Steidten, that's it. Yeah, we'll be seeing him on the plane with Steidten. We'll all be like that. What the?
I think if he ever leaves Real Madrid, mate, it'd be the biggest signing ever. There you go.
Yeah. Mind you, they said that about Gareth Bale. He went to Tottenham.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh gosh. Best three attacking players are two right wingers and centrally attacking midfielder. We need a left winger to balance out attack instead of pushing these out of their best positions. Yet we have Cornet. Exactly what I said earlier. Cornet is already, in the club. He's been in the team a few times. He's been on the bench plenty. Cornet is already part of the DNA of this club now. Give him a shot out on the left wing because that's his natural position.
The opportunity was there against Palace and he didn't take it, Moyes. So to me, he's not getting it.
Yeah.
I can't understand why he didn't come on for the last 20 minutes, but he didn't. He moved everything around rather than bring him on.
What Moyes needs is Paqueta to pick up the stink and say, Gaffer, I fucking hate playing out there. Don't do it to me. Do you know what I mean? Sounds like you're about to sing so macho. Oh God. Young striker would push Mama back down the pecking order. Can't have it both ways. Yeah, exactly. And in fairness, Mabama has shown that he's been very useful for us. Even though that first goal that he got, well, not the first goal he got, but the goal that he got was our first goal, and it was given as an own goal. Unfair on him, maybe. But if he hadn't have been there, who knows? And he gets himself in positions. He's making runs. He's making himself available to the midfielders. I think Mabama needs a shot in the team, not necessarily against Tottenham, though.
Definitely not.
Struggle. I think he would struggle against City, Tottenham, Liverpool.
We don't know. He's a young boy that needs minutes here and there, but you wouldn't risk him to start one of these games.
No.
We don't know whether he's going to be good enough.
Maybe half hour in the second half or something, but I don't think he's going to be getting much more than that. The Japanese lad at Brighton is a good left winger, I think. Yes.
Yeah, he's good,
whatever
Chief.
I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, his name, but yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah, he is very good. And Brighton are a selling club, so who knows? You could make a deal with them, but I think he would be expensive. Now that they've sold Casido for 113 million or whatever it was, I think they're going to be looking for stupid like 80 million quid for him. He's good, but he ain't 80 million quid good, If you want somebody that's 80 million quid good,
we need these players before they come to Premier League teams, and that's what makes the league.
And that's why Stuyden's in now. You've got to be right. Come on, you irons from New York. Evening Hustle.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, young man. Right,
Yeah.
well, we've been on an hour and a quarter just talking bollocks and getting away with it again. Yes, I agree. Happy. Ancelotti, love him. Ray likes him. Leif Davis from Ipswich is rumoured to come to the Hammers. Okay, I'll look into that. I don't know anything about that. Cornet is there, absolutely. Yep, definitely. I think we can see it, but others struggle. Those in the know seem to struggle to see it. And maybe, like you said, Kieran, his injury might have a lot to do with it. The fact that David Moyes doesn't want to stretch him too far.
Mate,
you can
but
only
trouble
stretch an elastic band until it's.
We don't know if that's the reasons, but if you've got to put him on the bench, then my God, he must be fit enough to start. So and they're not using. So there's an issue there somewhere. I don't know what it is, but there must be an issue, or he just doesn't think he's good enough. Unless you're part of that training and knowing what's going on. Can't understand it. I don't even know if he's the answer because we don't see enough of him. So
Hustle. We were saying that earlier actually that JWP should be playing a slightly more central role, but to do that, it's got to be like a triangle, and but you see who would you prefer in the central defensive role? For me, I think it's Alvarez all day long. And if you did the triangle the other way, with the midfielder being more forward, who would you put there? Would you put Souček there, or would you put JWP there? Because let's be honest, Souček is going to be playing. So I got a funny feeling it would be Souček. I would say, maybe 65-70% of people would put him forward to be more forward. So JWP would still be playing out of position because he'd be on the right midfield defensively. So you can't win unless you change your formation. And David Moyes, we know, doesn't change his formation. Wouldn't risk him yet. Moyes said the players need to take more risk. Yeah.
Fucking hell. It's good coming from him, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
I know,
good coming from him.
Yeah.
The most, risk-averse manager in the fucking world.
He's the
wants
guy
the players to take more risk.
He's the guy that was probably the most, or the least animated manager in the Premier League for about 10 years until the day we won the Conference League. And then bloke dances like a fucking, like a puppet, marionette. He was great on that day. I've got to be honest. I did enjoy that footage. Or another Ipswich lad, I should say. All right, okay. Moyes contradicting himself in post-match interviews. Yes, he does. Tomorrow's match is going to be brutal. Watching with your Spud brother-in-law. Not looking forward to it. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be either. And if my mate Dave phones me out and says, "Oh, do you want to watch the game together?" I'm going to have to say to him, "No, sorry, I want to watch it with a human."
Yeah, but no, he might pull a rabbit out of the hat. Maybe, Antonio could start. He's saying, telling everyone he's injured. Next thing he's on the pitch. Could help.
Well, he's on the grass. He's not on the pitch. He's on the grass training. That's his. But then that's his way of saying he's back, isn't it, really, usually? Right, okay. Yep. I reckon Moyes looks at the goals of conceding and is more likely to put Fabs back in goal rather than addressing the defensive issues. I understand where you're coming from, and that's probably a fair comment. But Ariola's done nothing wrong, really, to be fair. One or two small mistakes, but then Fabianski's made one or two in his time with us. So I actually believe that Areola is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League right now. I don't think David Moyes will boof him out, but hopefully not anyway. Going 5 at the back tomorrow, unfortunately. Scott, see, now I said about this earlier, didn't I,
No.
Kieran? I said about...
The formation's not going to matter tomorrow. These formations are going to be 10 men behind the ball. That's what his formation's going to be. It doesn't matter what it says when a team take a pitch. Doesn't matter what it says.
Definitely.
I know what he's going to do. Everyone behind that ball when Tottenham have got the ball. Everyone. That's what he'll be doing.
Yeah.
So when we've got the ball, we need to break with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the formation's not going to matter tomorrow. He'll want everyone behind the ball.
Yeah. Any wild animals down under, sir? Scott wants to know.
Oh, this week? No, nothing. Well, we've had a shark attack there up on the reef. Boy got chewed by which is unusual up there because most of the sharks up there are reasonably friendly. And
I thought you were going to say we're vegetarian.
Yeah, but they normally leave you alone up there around the reef. You don't normally get ones that come and bite you. You know, the reef sharks and the white tips and all that, they're pretty scared of human beings. But someone got chewed just out there. That's it.
Yeah, there's Emma, everybody. This is Emma Peel, my positive potato. So I'm thinking tomorrow, now that Emma's shown her face, I'm not going to go for a 4-0 drubbing. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Still going to be 4 goals in the game, though. Right, guys, we're going to start wrapping things up. But I look a bit fed up playing lone striker. Yeah, well, most of the strikers do. The only one that don't look fed up with doing it.
We've got a history of killing off players, putting them up there.
Yeah.
On their own.
Most recently, Haller. Yeah.
Even Ings, mate, cannot score a goal with us.
I'll tell you who used to love it up there on his own, though, was Arnautovic. He used to love being played up front on his own, didn't he? Don't know, but he had the energy for it, see?
It takes a certain type of player.
Yeah. Okay, guys, right, we're going to start wrapping this up then. I want to thank everybody for coming in, everybody for joining. Please don't forget, like the stream, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that. Hit the notification bell, and you will know when West Ham Network are live again. Until next Wednesday at 11 o'clock UK time again, and at 9 a.m. in Brisbane, we will return then on the network. Anything you want to say, Kieran?
Have a good week. Hopefully, boys, it don't get too cold there. Hopefully, it don't get too hot here. It's shaping up to be a hot summer.
Yeah. We've got Tottenham tomorrow. Don't forget, everybody. So, show your support for the club. Show your support for the boys on the pitch and on the sidelines.
Yeah, keep your fingers crossed.
Don't matter whether you're management in or management out. I'm not going to go too deep into that. But it doesn't matter whether you are. Show some support if you're at the game tomorrow at the Tottenham Stadium. Don't forget, sing at the top of your voices. We want to out-sing those spuds. We really do. If we can't outplay them, we'll keep them quiet on the terraces. All right? Guys, until next time, thank everybody for joining us, and anybody that watches this in the future, thank you for hitting the like button. Kieran, till next time. See you soon, brother.
See you later, brother. See you
Come
next
on,
week.
you islands. Oh.